Yeah, welcome to this screencast. This is basically a reply for the gotbletu screencast or YouTube channel. And first of all, I have to say I'm really a regular user or viewer of this show, of this screencast, and I have also subscribed it and in Miro, as you can see here. And I really like those screencasts of you, gotbletu. But the last one, the Debian sucks lol, it was some kind of bashy or bashing around the clock, I would say, as it was somehow. I think I saw it around Christmas time, is it correctly? So I first thought, yeah, maybe he wants to make a joke, because the other videos that you made were somehow very informative, they were intuitive for beginners and very good for beginners. Also for me, somehow sometimes it was very interesting to see and to see which interesting new programs are out there. And yeah, this is this somehow changed with the first impression video that you made on Debian sucks. And I didn't saw your Fedora review and the other stuff that you mentioned in your comments, or that are mentioned in the comments, but I saw this one, and this is somehow I was a little bit confused, because it's you make it look like you were like you want to bash Debian a lot. Like I know that you might that you were angry back then and somehow disappointed about Debian, that it's not the way you want to have it, this system. But one thing that was very interesting, I think you said it right here in the video.
Well, I installed it Debian sid, unstable.
So install Debian sid, this is basically what you said, and in your second video you basically right here you were showing off a nice image of the Debian install, the graphical installer, and there was a reply on meta packages and so on. And yeah, basically what's interesting for me and also for the users to know, where did you get those Debian unstable images? So the net installer or the minimal installer, if you go to the debian.org/devel/Debian installer, you can only get the stable Lenny version 5.07 net install and minimal install CD, and of course the normal DVD ISO images, and I think CD1 until CD15 of the Debian package archive. And you can get the Debian installer 6.0 beta 2 release. And when you click on one of those net install CDs, you will get here that, or it will stand here, daily build for the for this architecture using the installer built from sid. So the only thing that they do here is they use the installer from sid, and basically the installer, and this is something you also somehow I think understand it. I'm not sure. It somehow came to me this way in this video, where you were showing somewhere where you're showing the Ubuntu alternate CD or the alternate installation method. This is basically the Ubuntu uses 100% Debian installer here. So the text installer is 100% the same text installer that Debian ships with, and which is called text installer in Debian, basically. So the alternative installation is nothing else than a graphical installation, but on a text graphic mode. So it has nothing to do with the installation which is showed here. So which is basically a debootstrap installation, where you just put in the base system, then you have to you create your root user account, and then you have to just like in Arch Linux, simply download all the packages and all the stuff that you want to install. This is a minimal installation that you can also perform with a minimal installation CD, and this is normally, and this is I think somehow also misunderstood by the Metal X1000, who showed this to you as the basic installation. This is basically the basic installation for Debian sid, because there are no official Debian sid ISO images as far as I know. So there might be unofficial Debian installer ISO images, but you know, they are unofficial. When I'm grabbing an Ubuntu CD, remaster it somehow, make it special, put my logo on it, and it simply sucks or crashes somewhere, you cannot blame 100%ly the Ubuntu devs for it if you download this unofficial CD. So what I'm interested in is how you did install Debian SID. Did you install it this way, the command line way, or the way just like you said it with the graphical installer? And when you did it with the graphical installer, I think you have used an unofficial Debian CD. So all your it might be a different experience installing it from an official CD, but there aren't any official CDs for Debian SID. So the only way to install Debian SID officially is, or the legal way is to do this this way, or install the Debian testing, so the Debian 6.0 beta net install or minimal install CDs, and then just simply change the sources list to show or to point to the Debian unstable Debian SID packages. So this is basically what I wanted to say here. This is my major critic for the first video and for the second video that I saw. Then there are some other interesting stuff. One thing that I think in the last video, in the first reply, perhaps didn't get got through was the information. Basically, I don't want to critic yet now you somehow in a way because it's simply you didn't know about this, and a normal user wouldn't know too, I would guess. So if you are uninstalling Brasero, here it is showed the GNOME and GNOME desktop environment will be removed, but those 3 packages are the only packages that will get removed. So the other packages are only on a list of apt, which apt will keep in the background somewhere, of packages that were installed as a dependency for another package. And if you deinstall this meta package, which has all the dependencies, those packages will get on a list of packages that were automatically installed and are no longer required because this package that grabbed those other packages as dependencies has gone. This is basically what happened here. And yeah, this is also very interesting why it happened and why it does not happen with Ubuntu. And I want to explain this to you because it isn't a big deal, a big programming, and I want not only to explain it to you, but all your viewers and listeners, that this isn't a big bug or something, or this is simply basically only one package that Ubuntu has that Debian does not ship with, and this is the Ubuntu -desktop package. And I want to show you this right now, so I will open up a new tab and go to the packages.debian.org. And here it's localized version, but here I can choose the distribution unstable and will search for the package called GNOME. And as you can see here, click on GNOME, you can see the package that Debian SID ships with, which is called GNOME. This is basically a meta package, as you can see here in the source code. Quell code means source code. Meta GNOME 2. This is how it's called in the source. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can see also, you can guess that this is an meta package. As you can see, the file size is only 17 kilobytes big. Let me show you a list of files in here for the i386 platform. As you can see, a control file, a changelog file compressed even, and a copyright file. This is everything this package ships with. The other thing that's really interesting is in the control file, there you have all the dependencies, and the dependencies are in this list here marked with the red balloon, I would say, or the red circle here. Those are packages that the GNOME package is depending on. So if you install this GNOME package, or this GNOME package can only be installed if those packages are installed as well. Then you have this little green square here that is basically it's not localized here, but it says recommend, and then you have the blue one here, which says those are interesting packages that you might want to also to install. I don't know how to translate this actually in English, but those are some interesting packages that you might want to install. So not requirement, but yeah, somehow else they say those are good packages. So as you can see here in the dependency list, if you search for Brasero, you can see, if I type it correctly, didn't type it correctly. Of course, there's a GNOME desktop environment package as well. So the second package that you wanted to delete, or that you needed to delete. And this is also, when you scroll down, you can see it. It's also 17K big. You can see the list of files, changelog, and copyright. It's also only an meta package, or meta package, how you call it. So this is basically the package that is making the problem, the fuss here in Debian, basically, because if you search for Brasero here, you can see that Brasero is set as a dependency for this GNOME desktop environment package. And I think this is the different in what Ubuntu does. When you go to the packages.ubuntu.com and search in Maverick, search for I think GNOME. They don't have such a package, GNOME desktop environment. They have something else, but we'll type in there they have a package like this. So let's take a look at. So they all also just copied over the archive of Debian, and you can see it's also Brasero in here. So if you install GNOME desktop environment in Ubuntu, it will behave the same way you have it on Debian. But this is something that Ubuntu does not do in the default installation, because Ubuntu does not use the GNOME desktop environment meta package. It has its own meta package called Ubuntu-desktop. And this is the only thing that differs from Debian is the Ubuntu -desktop meta package, and Debian does not have a Debian -desktop meta package. This is basically everything, because here you don't have Brasero in the dependency list, but you have Brasero in the recommends list, and this means it's only recommenting Brasero. And when you install the package, because there's a rule set in apt-conf that also recommend packages will be installed. This is globally also for Debian. Recommend packages will be also installed in the new versions of Debian. It is also installed. But if you remove Brasero, as it isn't a dependency of Ubuntu-desktop, it won't get removed. So Ubuntu-desktop won't get removed, and you won't see this screen on Ubuntu as well. So this is the reason for that. But as you can see here in Ubuntu desktop as well, if you scroll down a little bit, if you want to change the events document PDF viewer to ePDF or Ocular or XPDF or whatever, it will remove the Ubuntu-desktop package, and you will see this list in Ubuntu as well. So it depends on the package that you want to delete in Ubuntu. So Ubuntu will also show you this kind of crazy problem, or this kind of crazy sucking in that way, or this kind of flaw, I would say this. So this is basically everything that I want to tell you about this. So this is one thing, only for information, not for critique or something, only information why it isn't doing this in Ubuntu for Brasero, but it can also do it for events, as you can see here, and other stuff. So perhaps in the future Debian will change the behavior and will also create they could change the behavior of the GNOME desktop environment and just simply change Brasero from dependencies to recommends. This will also change it for Ubuntu then as well, or they can also create their own meta package called Debian-desktop. But as Debian is a universal operating system, they won't do this, I think. When or if they were creating such meta package, they will create a Debian-GNOME-desktop file, because they want to stay universal. As you can see here, I'm running a KDE version also based upon Debian squeeze in that way. I don't have such big problems, and yeah, I don't think that those are minor problems, I would say. So as long as the software is running and it's running good, I don't have any problems. And this is, by the way, also this meta packaging stuff. So if you remove GNOME and GNOME desktop environment, you won't have the problems with that you showed here with I think it was Gnode and Tomboy. So if you're removing Gnode, I can show you this as well here somewhere. This is the GNOME desktop environment. Gnode isn't in there, but it is in the GNOME package, I think. Gnode, here you can see it. It's a dependency for the GNOME package, and if you delete Gnode, then it will install Tomboy. Here you can see it. Tomboy will be installed. Either Tomboy or Gnode needs to be installed as a dependency for the GNOME package. But if you delete the GNOME package, you can of course remove Gnode, you can remove Tomboy. Otherwise nobody would use Debian seriously, I would say. So if I have to remove, for example, I want to remove OpenOffice from my KDE machine, and I don't want KOffice to be installed or AbiWord to be installed, it won't be possible. But it is possible. And for the KDE side of things, those problems aren't there, luckily, because KDE has a little bit different. I think the package that's installed isn't KDE minus full when installing from Debian DVD, but it's KDE minus standard. This standard does not have OpenOffice included in the dependencies list and so on. So yeah, I can understand the flaw, and but basically this is everything for my feedback. I think I said everything, so I can understand this flaw, but basically this video was a little bit too, you were a little bit too bashing for my kind of thing, for my kind of view, because this is basically a behavior that can also occur on Ubuntu as well. These are packages, so you, especially if you think or see the background of this whole video, because it's basically you're saying that you're running Debian SID, and Debian SID is basically only for devs and developers, and they of course know about these problems. And then, or they even if you are a dev or developer who does not know about this packaging stuff, you need to read into the package. You get to somehow need to read the package documentation, and you need to get the problem here. So yeah, this is basically what I want to say. But I agree with you. I think you said it at the end of this screencast somehow, that this default behavior of Debian when installing isn't the one that inexperienced beginner users would like to have on their desktops. So I would recommend everyone who wants a beginner desktop, wants a standard, easy to use desktop, Debian based somehow, can use Ubuntu. And yeah, this is nothing that's that someone has to be ashamed of. I also started with Ubuntu, then switched to Debian, and I'm now happy with Debian. And I think everyone can be happy then some way with Ubuntu or Debian. And yeah, this is basically what I want to say about your two videos, a little bit feedback on those videos, and yeah, I hope you understand it well. And yeah, this is basically everything, and yeah, see you.